Today we are creating a card using the 2020-2022 in colors. I chose 3 different colors and I absolutely love this collection. It is retiring this year, so if you love it too, make sure you grab some of it before it's gone. I just happen to have 2 completely brand new packs of this cardstock in the assorted colors of this in color family, so I wanted to go ahead and use that on today's card. We are hopping with the Creators blog hop today for this project, and we have a sketch challenge. I am cutting the cardstock to size to match the measurements on the sketch challenge image. You can see all of the details on my coordinating blog post that is linked in the description of the video. This is a very basic sketch challenge. It just has a few layers, and I wanted to challenge myself and see how creative I could get with the most minimal amount of materials. I used the Misty Moonlight cardstock for my card base, and I used it for one of the featured layers on the front of the card. I also wanted to use some more of the basic white cardstock and make my own DSP for the small top portion of the sketch. So I cut it down to size, and I also cut a very small strip for the sentiment strip. Looking back, I should have made it a little bit wider than just 1/2 inch, but this was just a guideline and the sizes didn't have to be exact, although I did use the exact measurements on my project today. I am using the Cactus Cuties stamp set, and oh my goodness, I am so excited about this. I immediately knew I had to have it once I saw it in the mini catalog. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do. The catalog runs through June of this year, but as we get closer to the end of the catalog date, the products may become unavailable, so make sure you grab it now if you've been eyeing this set. I'm using the Misty Moonlight ink and the Bumblebee ink, as well as the Just Jade ink on today's project. For the circular image on the sketch challenge, I wanted to do one of these little succulent plants, so I wanted to incorporate these 2 extra colors with that Misty Moonlight. I think they both complement the blue so well, and you'll see later how beautiful these colors look against that Misty Moonlight. Right here, I am fussy cutting out the succulent so that I can put it onto the front of my card. And then I moved over to figuring out what stamps I wanted to use on my DIY DSP. So DSP just stands for Designer Series Paper, and I am DIYing my own using some of the stamps in this set. I am still getting used to filming again for these videos, and that's why I can't keep everything on camera, so I do apologize for that. But you can see here the images that I used to stamp that cute little accent at the top of the card. Once I have most of the pieces where I want them and how it needs to look according to the sketch, that's when I start embellishing aspects. So I decided to take the blue cardstock and run it through one of the embossing folders on the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This cardstock was 3.5 inches wide, and so it didn't quite fit in this folder, but I'll show you in just a minute what I did to fix the edges of that piece. Side note, this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is my absolute favorite thing from Stampin' Up! In the last couple of years. It's small, it's portable, it's lightweight, it's easy to use, and I love that I can just set it on my desk and I don't have to worry about finding a large amount of space for it. It's perfect for the small elements that can go onto cards. So enough of that. I am going back into the card and getting it all ready to put together. I wanted to cover up the edges of this piece, so I took some seal and I put some gilded leafing on it. If you guys have seen my last few videos, you know how obsessed I am with this stuff. I think I've used it on almost every single project I've made in the last few months. I am just obsessed. So I put that on the edges of this cardstock piece to kind of hide the parts that didn't quite get embossed because my piece of paper was just a little too wide. I decided I wanted to use a lot of dimension on this card, so I went ahead and I used the dimensionals all over the back of this piece, and I put it onto a white base that is going to go onto the card base later. I like to build my cards this way so that if I mess something up, I don't mess up the card base as well. After I got that piece down, I wanted to put the DSP piece down, so I just did the same thing and used one layer of dimensionals to get that onto the card. After I put that on, I knew I wanted to really boost up the dimension, so I actually ended up doing a double layer of dimensionals on the back of the succulent plant. And I purposefully used the colors I did on the succulent because I wanted the yellow to pop against the blue background, and I wanted the green to pop against the DIY DSP that I did. And I just think that having that line up with where that blue line is and the top of the planter, it just looks so nice and it really pops everything out. I took the hello sentiment and I popped that behind the succulent with one layer of dimensionals, and I just think that it came out so stinking cute. As soon as I was happy with the way it looked, I went ahead and popped that up with even more dimensionals onto my Misty Moonlight card base. Once that was all done, I thought I was going to be done with this project, so I started to wrap everything up, and I showed you how it stacked up against the sketch image. You can also see the sketch image on my blog right now and hop along with all of the other demonstrators who participated this month. But you know I couldn't leave this card alone. I had to add some of those gorgeous iridescent rhinestones. You can see a little bit more detail on my social media. If you head over to Instagram, give me a follow at MKre8tions. As soon as I put those rhinestones on this card, I knew immediately that that was the finishing touch that I needed, and I really, really love how this card came out. I hope you enjoyed. If you decide to try to do this sketch challenge, please make sure that you tag me on social media so I can see how your projects come out as well. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. It really helps out my channel and lets me know what kind of videos you guys like to see. If you could also subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, that would mean so much to me. And go ahead and head over to the blog post that is linked in the description box below to see all of the other amazing projects that the demonstrators came up with for this hop. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!